What is the best level to start your Dungeons and Dragons campaign off at? Do you start off at level 1, or is that too boring? Level 2, and some people get their subclasses. Level 3, that's a super popular one. And I completely see why level 3 is super popular. Everybody has their subclass, all that cool stuff. And I get it, but that's not my favorite. And anything beyond that is definitely not my favorite. Now, again, this is heavily opinion based, right? Like many different people will have many campaigns that started off at different levels and they had different experiences the whole time. But for me, my personal favorite thing to start off at is level 1. Now, I'd even say I've started campaigns off at level 0. And comment down below if you want me to do a whole little video like this about what level 0 even is, because that's a whole thing. There's lots of different ways you can do it, and those are really fun. But my favorite by far is level 1. Level 1, why not? It's part of the story. You want to feel like an underdog. If you already start off at level 3, you already have all these cool things. You're already pretty powerful. Like a level 3 character is pretty strong. Like, especially when you start comparing yourself to the normal town's guard or normal monsters or whatever. Like level 1, you have like single digit hit points, maybe like that. I want my players to have been there before, right? And one of my best friends is a player that like, he wants to start off at level 3, right? Because, you know, I don't have enough stuff. I don't have enough things at my disposal. I can't do enough stuff. It's boring. I only have 1 or 2 things. And I totally get that. And as a dungeon master, I have like, not bought into that, but I've gone to my players with that to make sure that they have fun, because I don't want him to be bored out of his mind for 2 whole levels to finally get to level 3 to be able to do something, right? Each character should have some sort of vision or some sort of class fantasy or goal that they're going after. And if he knows what that 3rd level class is going to be, if this player of yours knows what they want to be able to do at 3rd level, then what happened before that? Let's tell that story of what happened before you were that big and strong, right? What happened before you had those powers? Before that subclass was chosen, how did you become that subclass? That is such a cool story to tell. And then when they are that, they're going to feel like they've earned it more, and they're going to see why it happened instead of just fast forwarding to that spot, right? So as the Dungeon Master, you want to make sure you go to your players in this way. I have a whole point by feat system that I do. Link for that will be down in the description, where you can build your character and customize it. But I have a whole video on it too, is you want to give them enough tools so that they don't feel bored. Of course, if I have that, my friend at the table and we're level 1, which is where I normally pitch the groups to start off at. But if they're level 1, I'm not going to just leave him there with only one thing, because he would be bored. I'm going to give him some extra little something or other at level 1 that he can do, with like, oh, you can do a trip attack, or you have some sort of feat that you get to be able to do this ability or that ability. Or I've had a campaign before where every character started off as a Gestalt multi-class, where they had their character, their level 1 character, and they also got a pick because it was baked into the story. That's a whole nother thing, where some magic surged into them and they had another class they could choose. So each player was level 1, but they also got the perks of another class feature. So they were 2 classes, both at level 1, starting off the game with. Now, oh, that's so strong or whatever. Well, you choose when to start the game at, and both a level 1, a double level 1 character, which is technically level 2, is weaker than a 3rd level character. So it's not too crazy. So let your players have as much like freedom to feel like their class as you want. And I've also said before, if they have a certain multi-class that they want to do, and that's why they want to start off at a different level. I've had players, whenever they choose their class and they are a barbarian, and if they want to have a little bit of magic powers, then let them customize it, tweak some stuff, give them some magic powers so they can play the character that they want to play from the gate, or out the gate, at the get-go, so that you just give them really weakened versions of whether it's their class or the thing, the extra they want to do, and you can go from there. Because at level 1, you want them to feel weak. You want them to feel down in the dumps, and that might sound bad as a dungeon master, but if you start off already with stuff, then everything just has to snowball from there, and you have to keep one-upping things to feel like you've accomplished something. But if you started from nothing, everything is up. I've started campaigns where they started off with not like barely any clothes and like super crappy weapons that broke if you rolled a 1 through 5. They had to and they got a weapon that was just a normal freaking weapon, and they were super excited about it because they got a weapon that wouldn't break on a 1 through 5. Like, then they were excited about that, but they would never have been excited about that if they started off with it. You know what I mean? So anyway, as you can tell, I get pretty hyped up about this. I love starting off at level 1. I have started off at level 3. I have started off at level 2, and I've done level 0. Again, let me know if you want to see that. But level 1 is just so awesome. And the stories you can tell, you want to make them feel like the underdog so they can see how they became these strong level 3 adventurers that they eventually will be. And this gives you time for the party cohesion. And maybe you start off at level 1. The first session is the story that they tell of how they became a group. And then you start the campaign off at level 2. Sure, go ahead. But at least they had that moment, that story at the beginning to see where they came from, right? And then you can always say you started from 1 all the way to 20. But that's a whole nother video. So stay creative. Think outside that box. Think outside the level 1 box and go to level 0. Time out. I have some big stuff going on over my Patreon, so you guys should check out. I do monthly PDFs of 3 different PDFs every single month with different themes to it. I got point by feat system character creation, wild magic systems, magic tattoos, magic items, homebrew rules, entire cities, homebrew monster systems, and a whole bunch of subclasses every single month. I've loved the huge response I've gotten from you guys and how much you love this stuff, and I only want to make these things bigger and better. I'm trying to bring in a lot of people in on this. I got artists that are making custom art for these PDFs and everything. Each month's PDF sticks around for 2 months, so whenever you join, you get this month and the month before it, so it's a pretty sweet deal. So if any of that stuff sounds interesting, or you just want to help out and support what I do here to help me make more and more stuff to try and help more and more people, links down in the description.